AITA for telling my sister that her baby isn't the only one that matters? 32M. I'm expecting my second child with my 30F wife. My wife is 14 weeks pregnant, and we are really excited. My sister, 25F, and her wife, 27F, are also pregnant with their first child. My sister and her wife did IVF, and my sister is 38 weeks pregnant. I'm very happy for them, and I think they will make great parents. The other day we all met up to see our grandparents. They live out of state and don't visit a lot, so when they do we always set aside time to see them all together. My grandparents were talking about how excited they were to see my sister and her wife become mothers, and they couldn't wait to have their first great-granddaughter. They continued to talk about my sister's baby and didn't even acknowledge my wife's pregnancy. I could tell it was hurting my wife. So I tried to start a conversation to include her, but it always went back to my sister and my SIL's baby. I even tried talking about the gender reveal we are holding soon, but no one seemed to care. My wife got upset and walked out of the room. My sister asked me if everything was okay, and I told her that my wife was upset because she's feeling left out. My SIL apologized and said that that wasn't her intention. My mom tried to convince my wife to come back and sit down, but she refused. My sister told me that my wife can't expect every conversation to be about her, and this isn't a competition. I told my sister that her baby isn't the only baby that matters, and ours matters too. My grandma told me that she would be more than happy to discuss both pregnancies, but it was too late. My wife wanted to leave, so that's what we did. I'm now being called an asshole by my parents for making a scene with my grandparents there. I feel like no one cares enough to see my wife and I's side in this. AITA here? Info. 1. Was your family excited for your first child? Did they show appropriate enthusiasm and support of your wife? 2. Was your child the first grandchild? Usually that in itself is a momentous thing that is hard to match for any subsequent pregnancy in the family. 3. How close is your gender reveal to your sister's due date? If they're very close, it actually could seem a bit rude for you to try to shift focus to a party versus your sister actually giving birth. YTA. I can just see your sister and SIL's version of this post. We are having our first kid via IVF. My brother is expecting their second in 67 months. We are due in 2 weeks. My grandparents were excited to talk about our coming baby, and my brother kept constantly interrupting to tell us about their gender reveal party, and then his wife ran out of the room, sulking, and refused to come back until she was the center of attention. Single quote. YTA. I had to reread this. I am expecting my second child. I was completely under the impression that this was going to be yours and your wife's first child. This is your sister's and her wife's first child via IVF. It makes sense why they are more excited for them than for you and your wife. This is literally your sister and her wife's first kid together and will be mothers for the first time. Yeah, I do agree that all the kids matter, but this isn't a competition for attention or the spotlight. First great-granddaughter? First baby for the sister? First IVF? I'm guessing. Typically seen as a bigger stigma against LGBT couples? Closer to birth? First girl born? Theirs might not be the only baby that matters. But can you see why maybe they were a tad more excited in the moment? Info. You said your gender reveal is soon. When is it? Your sister is due in 2 weeks with her first child, and it seems like an interesting choice in time to have a gender reveal. Is this the first time you've struggled with not being the center of attention during this pregnancy? Your wife didn't want to be included. She wanted to be the center of attention. Otherwise, she would have engaged in the conversation about your sister's child until that topic had been exhausted. Instead, you tried to preemptively end their conversation so you could talk about your kid. YTA. As is your wife. As you told your sister, your baby isn't the only one that matters. YTA. People are nearly always more excited about somebody's first child than they are about anyone's second child. Also, you sister's new baby is almost here, and your wife isn't all that far along. Your wife decided to be jealous of the attention paid to your sister and her wife, and make it all about her. She made a scene because this one time someone was more important than she was. And I'm sorry, but a planned gender reveal probably isn't as newsworthy as a baby who will actually be revealed very shortly. Life isn't fair. Your wife may be the center of your universe, but she doesn't hold that spot for anyone else. After having read through the comments and seeing you're having the gender reveal the day after her due date, there's more going on here and you're about to alienate your family. YTA. Why can't everyone be happy for the people who don't visit often and are actually about to have a baby? Why would your wife feel left out? Did your family ignore her when she was ready to deliver your first child? How childish of the both of you for making your family feel like they did something wrong. And so unkind to walk out on visiting with your grandparents. That's ridiculous. Yes, you're blaming the wrong person. This is your wife's problem that she created, no one else's. YTA. YTA. You and your wife should have been gracious and ceded the table to the people having their first child. You two had that experience already and now you've robbed your sister of it. YTA. Your sister and her wife are pregnant via IVF and she's at 38 weeks. You are on baby number 2 and nowhere near birth. If you can't see why they're showing more excitement for the imminent arrival, then I don't know what to tell you. Not everything revolves around you and your wife. YTA. Sister is pregnant with first child and is about to give birth. Wife is pregnant with second child and is nowhere near birth. It makes sense why one is more exciting than the other. I'm sure they are excited for y'all, but you've already had that first child spotlight. Info. Why are you blaming your sister for something your grandma is doing? YTA. Your wife is still early while your sister could literally go into labor at any time. Of course they're talking about her baby more right now. WTF. You didn't even need to come here to find out you are the You should have already known the answer to your question. Yes, you are a major Your sister most likely was holding back tears and dreaming of the day she could talk about her pregnancy when your wife was pregnant with her first. Your sister has 2 weeks left of pregnancy. Your wife can have the spotlight week 1640. Get a grip. You and your wife really handled everything in the most immature way possible, like two high school students that can't appreciate another's glory. Like WTFF. After your grandma and mom tried to talk to your wife and include her, she wanted to go home? Even after Sil apologized? So much drama for what? Info. Is this an example of a long-standing habit of ignoring your wife and yours lives, accomplishments, etc.? If not, I think you should let this one go. We're all allowed feelings, but it's how we process and express our feelings that matters. YTA. This is your sister's first pregnancy through IVF, no less. They probably never expected your sister to give them great-grandchildren in the first place, so yes, this is special. They're closer to birth. This is your second kid, which matters too, but the circumstances are way different. YTA. But also info. You are also having a girl and your wife is annoyed she isn't getting the first granddaughter. Excitement, isn't she?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.